All right, guys. So today I want to talk to you about something really, really special. I want to talk to you about personalization and why this is such a big factor within real estate. And I also want to talk to you and give you some practical stuff on how you can actually use AI in your personalization and in your prompts to be way more effective with the way you follow up with leads and the way you nurture leads. And so I'm a sole believer in personalization, and I feel like there's no time like now to get started in it, because right now with AI, you literally can scale personalized follow-up. Like, you can send each of your leads an individual message that makes them feel heard and helps and acknowledges to them that you are out there working for them to solve their very, very specific problem and to get them the best results possible. And you can do that at scale without having to compromise and having to look like you're less involved with your leads. Because for me, I actually felt like templated generic marketing made me feel like I was less involved with my leads. Like, when I shot out a blast to all the leads with a text that said, hey, interest rates are this, this, and this, hope you're doing well, or have you thought more about buying a house? I felt like they knew it was a mass text. And then I also felt like I was just being lazy and disconnecting from my leads, even though I did write that one message to go out to everybody. Whereas with AI, it can feel like, oh, well, if you let AI work all your leads, doesn't that mean you're pulling away from your database and you're not in tune with your brand? And I think that for some people, yes, that's very true. For people that think AI is a set and forget kind of thing, I'll just put this up and then I don't have to ever check it again, and I don't need to ever work my leads again because AI is just so good that it's going to do everything for me. I think those people are looking at it wrong. I think what AI can do is it can fast track all the stuff that took a lot of time, but then ultimately you should always be the one in control of what goes out to your market and to your database. And if you can't do it for whatever reason, then at least have somebody on your team that's checking in every now and then to make sure you're still in tune with where your leads are and what your clients' needs are and what's changing in their story. And so we'll talk about how you can do that stuff kind of in this video and some practical tips on that. But I want to first talk about generic marketing and why I think it's totally going away. And I think that if you're someone that's still doing it, making the pivot now to personalized marketing is going to be huge. And so reasons that generic marketing is tough is because everybody kind of does the same thing. Everybody sends the just sold postcards. Everybody sends the did you hear about your neighbor text? And we've always got a new template that's come out or a new hidden script that somehow works. But it works. Yeah, it could work well, but take that script and personalize it to each individual person, and it'll work 10 times better. Like, personalize it to you and your brand and personalize it to them, and it'll work a million times better. And so it's hard to stand out with generic marketing because everybody's doing the same thing. People spot templates instantly, like it used to be, where every time someone saw their name, like, hey, Aaron, they'd go, oh my gosh, they actually wrote my name in this in this letter. So they obviously wrote a letter to me or an email. But people are catching on. People know that just because their name is in an email or a text message doesn't mean that that person actually took the time to write that text message or email to them. And so they're kind of disqualifying it. Like, when they come in, like, I'm sure you guys feel the same way when you get an email and, like, from a lender or from someone trying to prospect you for some sort of service, then you even catch on to the fact that they just sent this to everybody. I don't mean anything to them. And so the combination of those three just result in people just feeling really unimportant. And in a world where clients and our prospects and buyers and sellers are able to do so much on their own, they're able to go onto Zillow, they're able to even list their house on their own, they can hire their own photographer. Standing out to them and making them feel important is going to ultimately be the thing that helps you close more clients and more leads. But the hard part is, we all know that that's great until you're really busy, and then it's really hard to stay on top of everything. Because even though you love people and you want to make them feel heard, when you've got multiple transactions going on and you've got showings and a listing appointment and family and stuff, like, it's not always easy for you to remember exactly what you talked about with Michael Scott when he was in town looking at houses. So personalization is tough. And in fact, it was unscalable. It was completely unscalable. Unless you had a lot of money to hire people to do it for you, it was completely unscalable. You just can't do it on your own. But it works, and we're going to talk about how you can do it without hiring anybody with AI. So why does it work? One, you want to make it about their problem and how you're going to fix you're going to offer them solutions. Like, you need to be actively going back to that core idea of they have a problem or a goal and you're helping them solve that goal. And whenever you acknowledge the fact that you're doing that with them and that you're actively asking them questions or wondering where we're at with things, creating strategy, then they feel like you're out there working for them. And ultimately that makes them feel important. And most importantly, it helps them feel heard. Because for people to feel heard is really important. That's really what we want at the end of the day. Like, you could send someone the perfect house, but if you're not really listening to them, they might not even buy that house with you. As opposed to you're never able to get their house right. Like, you're never able to figure out what they actually want, but you're constantly asking them questions to try and narrow that in, and they can obviously see that you're trying. Like, ultimately, that ends up being more valuable to people than just, an automated system sending them some stuff. So, how do we create premium value? Like, this has been around for a long time. Concierge services feel really, really special. Anytime someone remembers your name, or when you see your name written down on a card at a restaurant that you have a reservation at, you go, whoa, that is incredibly valuable. I feel super special. I feel super important. And I'm going to put a premium price tag on that. So the more above and beyond you can go with, one, showing your customers that you're listening to them, two, creating totally unique personalized experiences just for them. And then three, I don't know what three is, but those are two. They are going to feel like, okay, this guy, he gets me. I feel so special right now. I want 100%. This is my guy. This is my agent. I love him. He's the best. I'm going to tell everybody about him. And that goes to quality over quantity. So personalization it can be really, really effective when you do it well, like sending a couple texts that show someone that they're heard and that you're actively out there trying to help them, can be insanely valuable. One idea I had, I can't remember if I'm going to talk about this in the video later, but one thing that I would do with my buyers is, so I would set them up on a search, and rather than go and reply to their emails about questions they had on their search or to check in on what they thought of the search I made them, I would just, on my desktop, go down to Loom, hit record, pull up their search, and I would review it in live time. And then I would just send them the link and say, hey, I was thinking about you guys, thinking about your search. Here's some thoughts I had. Let me know what you think. And people loved it. Like, they were like, oh my gosh, this guy took time, 30 minutes to review my search, to ask me questions about what I thought about the granite counters in this room, what I thought about the area here, what I thought about living this far from the airport, et cetera, et cetera. And they just feel so taken care of that I could literally go without following up with them for another 3 to 4 weeks, but they would still feel really, really special because of how intentional I was with that Loom video. And so you can even cut back on the quantity a bit if you are increasing the quality of how you're interacting with your leads, and just work on blowing them away with how special of a process and how special of an experience you are creating for them. And you can systemize that. Like, that Loom process, we systemize that, and it's actually faster than writing emails, funny enough. So again, then finally, it shows that you care. Personal touch always says you matter. So I love this analogy. Think of it like, okay, like when you think of like an exceptional doctor, right? Like, a doctor is just supposed to do his job as a doctor, which is keeping you from dying. And doctors are incredibly busy. They see hundreds of patients every day. But I remember I had this one doctor who I knew he was super busy, but even when he was super busy, he would still remember 1 or 2 things about me that he would just casually bring up in a sentence, and then he'd be gone, and the nurse would be taking care of me. But just the fact that he remembered that showed me that I was in the hands of a professional, and that can be enough with personalization. Because I know a lot of us have big teams, and we're very busy, and we just don't have time to individually give to each people. And that's when you focus on creating, one, a really good system to where their end goal, your client's end goal, isn't compromised by you being busy because of how good your system is. And then to really execute that and really to drive that home, when then you step in and you offer a bit of personalization, even if it's only for 5 to 10 minutes, your clients are still blown away by you. They still think you're the best because they go, oh my gosh, you're so busy, so successful. This has been such a smooth process. And you still remembered that I like to watch football on Saturdays or whatever it is. They're going to feel like amazing. Love that. That's great. And I love that analogy. So here's my core truths of real estate. Now we're going to get into AI and how you can use AI to personalize experiences for your clients, because I talked a long time and I don't want to bore you guys. So these are my personal 3 core truths. So the key to success is follow-up and lead nurturing. We've all heard that. If you were on a team lead, if you are a team lead, or you were on a team, if you're a broker or you have a broker, then I'm sure they've said to you, call your leads, call your leads, call your leads, work your pipeline. Don't forget about your pipeline, because then you go through this cycle where you're rich, then poor, rich, then poor. So we've all been there. So we all know we need to follow up with our leads, and we need to do it consistently, and we need to do it in a way that actually offers value. So what's the best way to nurture our leads? So for me, the number one way to nurture effectively is through genuine personalization. Now, you might not even have all the answers for someone. You might have no update for them. Maybe their criteria is super hard and you haven't found anything. But even you messaging them saying, hey, I remember we went and looked at houses, and I remember you guys really were drawn to that one house with the pool. I would really like to find you guys something. We're kind of tough with what's available right now. Have you guys thought more into broadening our search, or maybe looking in some other areas? I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about it, and I wanted to see where your guys were at with things. Like, you sending something like that, it's like you have no progress into helping me figure out what's going on. In fact, there's really nothing's changed. You're basically there's still no inventory, but you just saying that you're trying, and you showing that you actively listened to what I liked about that one house, shows me that you're out there working on my behalf. And so I'm not even going to be upset that we haven't found the house yet, because I know you're going to try, and you're asking good questions. So that kind of follow up, even though you're not necessarily, it's still tough to figure out how to help these people, but by personalizing a follow up like that, you still are staying on top of your leads and helping them. And then obviously this is where the skill set comes in, of you guiding them through their transaction, and maybe setting up some more realistic expectations. But it's really, really important for people to feel heard and important. I can't drive that home enough. Now, my third favorite core truth is the number one way to personalize at scale is with AI. So if you're using AI to write your listing descriptions, you are doing it wrong, because you're not personalizing it. And so we're going to talk about how you personalize with AI. Because if I see the word meticulously one more time, or nestled, I'm going to lose it, guys. You've got to start personalizing your prompts, because people are going to catch on to the fact that you're using AI to write their listing descriptions, but you're not using it to write a better listing description. You're using it to write a quick listing description because you don't have time to write them an actual listing description. And that's really what feels damn like as a seller or a buyer, like, this person, do they really even care about me? Is when you're using AI to cut back on the amount of work you have to do for them, not to maximize their outcome. So the anatomy of a great follow-up. Show people you're listening to them. Reference what they told you. We talked about that. It's a great way to show people you're listening, is just take notes about things they like, things they paid attention to when you're in the house. And even the small note of they said they like chocolate chip cookies can be extremely valuable down the road when you're trying to think of a good way to personalize a message to them. Ask specific questions. It shows that you care, and remember details. So like classic active listening is not just making eye contact with them, but even if you ask a question saying, hey, I don't really understand what you're saying, could you clarify that, can feel super nice to you as a person, because you go, okay, at least they have the respect for me to actually say, I don't understand, can you help me understand? Because me understanding, I want to help you solve your problem, and so I want to make sure that I understand what you're saying, because that's important to me, and I don't want to waste your time. Like, that's insanely valuable. So ask questions, ask specific questions. It shows you care, and shows that you remember details. If there's no update, say that, because silence can create doubt. This is so true. Like sometimes we have a client under contract, and the closing date is in 2 months, and there's really nothing to be done yet. So do we just ghost our client for 2 months because everything's going great, everything's going smooth? I remember like some of my best transactions where everything was fine and great, but they were just a little long. Like the client ended up getting kind of like panicked and frustrated because there was just nothing to update them on. And so very quickly I realized that, you know, having no update is fine. Like you can literally, it's super, super valuable to reach out to your clients and say, hey, just want to let you know, everything is going great, smoothly. We're on track. Hope you guys are excited about the house. Have you thought more about what I don't know, what color you're going to paint that one wall that you didn't like, or something like that is going to make them feel so relaxed and take so much stress off their plate, because they don't know, they've never done this, or maybe they have, but they haven't done it as much as you have. And so that reassurance, even if there is nothing to really give them, is super huge. So avoid overly formatted or robotic language. I cannot stand when people do this. When they get a text from a client asking a question, they feed that text to ChatGPT. ChatGPT spits out a very like essay style response, and they just copy and paste that verbatim right back and send them that. You know, those kind of agents, they're out. I'm telling you, they're done. They're done, because that's the type of agents AI are going to replace. But you're not going to get replaced by AI, because you're going to learn how to leverage AI in a way that is extremely helpful.